Hi, folks. District Governor John coming to you again today with another Rotary vlog. Very exciting. Today, I get to talk to one of my friends, one of my mentors, one of the people that brought me into leadership in Rotary in my club, Mechanicsburg North. That's Dr. Amy Spots. And she's here to talk about something very specific, something she has a passion about and has been working on and with for a number of years. But first, Dr. Amy, tell us a little bit about what you do when you're not doing Rotary, and then tell us what you're here to talk about.
Well, when I'm not doing Rotary, usually I can be found working in my office down in York, Designer Family Eye Care, where we have an optometry practice. So we help the world to see here.
Wow, you have that beautiful sunset behind you, or is that a sunrise?
That would be a sunset in Thailand when we went on an eye care mission back in, I think it was 2011.
Very nice. So you do eye care. You've done a number of those eye care missions even since I've been around. Mm-hmm. There was one in Malawi, right?
Malawi was the most recent back in 2018. Mm-hmm. All, of course, with the help of Rotary Foundation grants.
Which is, I think, why you're so involved in the grant process. You're the co-district grant chair. Do I have that right?
I think so, yeah.
Even on the right order?
District Club Grant co-chair.
That's right, yeah. So, and when we started talking, when I got into the district governor line, we talked about some things that, what is it that we can do to make it easier for clubs to get involved in the grant process? And some of your ideas we've actually been able to put into motion. So why don't you talk about a couple of things that we've recently been able to get passed through the grant committee and put into motion for the clubs?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Well, many of you might have already done a traditional district club grant. So these grants are grants to do something in the community to make Rotary well known and to fill a community need, whether that be supplying a food bank with more food or a freezer to store the food, or sometimes I know one grant was for a meat slicer that they needed. Other ones have done an oven for Meals on Wheels, enhancing a park by putting in a new flower bed, many different things. Even sending students to RILA is an option with a district club grant. The typical way these grants would work was that the club would spend their amount of money on the grant up to a maximum of $5,000, and then the district would reimburse them $2,500. Through the years, some of the clubs have said that this is somewhat of a problem because if they don't have money within the budget to forward $5,000, they might be unable to participate in a grant. So one thing we wanted to do, we want to see all clubs participate in these grants and do things in the community to make Rotary well known and better the community through Rotary. So we came up with the idea of what if we could provide a grant where the money was, if you will, pre-funded. So that is one option for grants this year. Pre-funding the money means that the club would only have to spend their half, $2,500 up front, show proof of that spent on the project, and then district would spend the other $2,500 for their total $5,000 project. All the same rules apply. You have to still do your form of intention, your memorandum of understanding. In addition to this, to apply for this type of grant, there's a new application. That application would show to district and to the district club grant committee that you are looking for this type of grant. There has to be a little bit of financial need within the club to do that. At least that's how we're running these at this point in time. Then if you're approved for this type of grant, same process. You have your application for a district club grant due on April 30th. You would still do a progress report by the end of the year if it's not finalized by then, and a final report that would be due May 31st of the next for at the end of that Rotary year. So that is version number 2.
So let me, before you move on,
Sure.
do I have to apply for $2,500 or can I apply for something a little bit less than that?
No, same as before. $5,000 is the max, so $2,500 would be the max that you would have to do. But if you have a project that's only $2,000, you could spend your $1,000 and then have the district supply the other $1,000. No minimum amounts are refused.
Spectacular. And that is great for a lot of clubs who we've talked to through the years that have said, I just don't have the matching funds to do it up front. If I could gain access to it earlier or without having to go through that, we believe that we'll be able to put more money into the community in a lot of different ways. So I love that we put that into motion this year. So what's number 2?
Well, actually, yeah, the next one is we've come up with the idea of a micro grant. So how this one works is if you do have a small project, you can actually apply for the micro grant, which is $500 directly from the district to your club for whatever that project may be. No type of matching or anything like that. It still should be a great community project, maybe just smaller in nature. We don't want to see these used for any type of scholarships. So find a different way to send students to RILA, that type of thing. Let's just stick with the community enhancement with these. But same process, form of intention, MOU by March 15th. And as well, there's a separate micro grant application that needs to be turned in at that time so that we are aware, district, club, grant, and district, that that's what you're looking to do. All right.
That is fantastic. We now have 3 different ways that people can apply for grant money that's available. And all of this money is money that our folks in our district has put in, has gone to RI and has come TRF and has come back to us 3 years later. And so the way that you're able to help them get that money back out on the street is fantastic. I'm just super excited about all of our clubs having access to money a lot easier than in the past. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think Rotarians give to the foundation, wanting that money to be helpful to people either across the world or locally. And this is the way to do it locally. It comes back to us in the district designated funds or the DDF, and we have to apply for the grants to be able to use that money to do it in the community.
So if I wanted to pick up micro grant, can I only have one of those per year?
You can only have one micro grant per year. And in fact, we want this to stimulate interest in the grant program. So we're looking mainly for the micro grants for clubs who have not applied for any type of grant within the last 2 years. So if you would get a micro grant for year 2021 to 2022, then we really wouldn't want to see you applying for another one for at least another 2 years.
And that's fair. Gives everybody the opportunity to plug into that kind of.
Yeah, we want the micro grant to show them how to do the different applications, the progress report, the final report. So then they're not afraid to go and do a bigger grant the next year.
That's awesome. And one of the other things that we've been encouraging them to do is to join together to apply for grants together to do bigger projects, right?
Correct. So you can also use option 1, the traditional district club grant, or the pre-funded district club grant to partner with other clubs. There's no maximum on the number of clubs, but just you can't go over that $5,000 total mark.
That's
per
great.
club. Per club.
For people to know about relative to all this, is there any, where would they go to find more information?
They would need to go, of course, to the district website, rotary7390.org.
There is an actual tab on there for grants and so they'll be able to go there, and all of this information about these regular grants, so the grant number 1 kind, number 2 kind, number 3 kind, they're all on there, right? And the forms are actually up as well, right?
Correct. All the applications that they need, the form of intention, even the memorandum of understanding that needs to be signed is on there.
That's spectacular. Is there, can they reach out to you if they have questions? Should they reach out to anybody else? What if they have a question about this?
Sure, they would reach out to me. My email and phone number, I think, are on the district website, as well as the other co-chair, Nigel Foundling. So we are always happy to answer any questions or concerns that they may have.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Okay, is there anything else we want to talk about today?
No, I don't think so.
Super easy. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
And for being here and for bringing your smile and all of your knowledge and your time. I just love how engaged you are in Rotary, and you're a real inspiration. I don't know if you know that or not. So for those of you who don't know, Amy was the president when I came on the board of Mechanicsburg North, started my little leadership role for my track. And I had said to Amy at one point, I know that there's a board member at large spot available. And Amy turned around and said, how would you like to be vice president? And I said, I don't think you heard me. I said, I'd just like to be on the board spot that's a board member at large. Well, yeah, so she was pretty persistent, and vice president I became, and there it was. So thank you for that.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? It was a great year.
Yeah, so, we're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Wait until the year's over and then make that call. All right. Well, thank you folks for joining us again for another Governor's Vlog. If you have an idea or a passion, or you know someone who is running a program or having a service project that should be put out to the general public or to Rotarians, that's what these vlogs are for. It takes only a couple of minutes. It's not that difficult to do. Just send me an email or call and let me know that you'd like to set up a time. And it literally takes less than a half hour from beginning to end. And we'd love to get more communication out to the general public about the things that we're doing here in Rotary in South Central Pennsylvania and around the world. Until then, be safe, and I will see you around the wheel.
Same. Bye.